Hey everyone, this is Richard, CEO and founder of altFINS. In this video, I will demonstrate how to marry fundamental analysis with technical analysis and find assets that fit both. In other words, find assets or projects that actually have some fundamentals, meaning they have products or services that are being used by end users. They're projects that are generating revenues and are growing, and therefore, these are DeFi or DePIN or DEX type of projects that are likely to be around for the years to come, unlike other projects or coins that don't really have anything backing them, like lots of the meme coins, right? Nothing against trading the meme coins. I think that trading meme coins is purely based on sentiment and psychological sort of horizontal support and resistance levels and so on. But some of the investors and traders perhaps prefer to trade and invest in coins that actually have a certain kind of backing, fundamentals, and therefore these are the type of projects that won't go to zero over the next year or two, while some of the meme coins, actually most of the meme coins, will go to zero at some point and will be replaced by some new flavor of meme mania. So if you are one of these investors or traders who like to focus on fundamentally sound projects, but also apply some technical analysis, altFINS is perfect platform for that. So to do that, I'm going to go to the crypto screener. And here you can create your own filter and start from scratch, but you can also start with some of the preset filters. We recently added some preset filters for fundamentals, where you can find assets or projects or coins that have at least $1 million in annualized total revenue, or have growth in their total revenue of 10% and so on. So I'm actually going to start with a preset screen that shows me all the assets that have at least $1 million in total revenue, annualized total revenue. So these are, more mature projects than some of the more startup projects that haven't reached that revenue milestone. Now that I have this, there's lots of them here, and I can actually check on the revenue tab here, what type of revenue they have, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, some of these layer 1, layer 2s and generating fees as well. Some, for example, Uniswap is a DEX, right? Decentralized exchange that generates annualized revenue of 55 million. I'm sorry, that's just revenue in the last month, annualized revenue of 680 million. I mean, that's pretty substantial. So I can rank these based on the annualized revenue here. This is the smallest to the biggest, if I rank it or sort it the other way around. Tron is by far the largest with 4 billion in annualized revenue. Quite impressive. Okay, now, but I want to add more criteria, because right now I have 57 assets that fit this simple criteria of million in annualized revenue. So I want to narrow it down more. And I want to find assets or projects that are also seeing some growth in their revenue. So let's just say total revenue 3 months change is above 0. So any kind of growth in the last 9 months in their revenue would be sufficient. So now we're down from 57 to 32 coins or projects that satisfy this criteria. Okay, but 3 months, it's in crypto it's a long time. So let's just also add another criteria to say not only did it grow revenues in the last 3 months, but it also grew revenues in the last month. So I'm going to do the same thing to say total revenue 1 month change of 0 or more. So positive change in their revenue growth, right? So that narrows it down to 14. Okay, let's check out which projects satisfy this criteria. So again, it's Tron, obviously ton of revenues, but also growing modestly. The 1 month change is only less than 1%, but the 3 months change, 21% increase in revenues. I have a 25% increase in revenues in the last 3 months, and a slight increase in the last month, and so on and so forth. And then now I want to marry this with, I want to focus on those assets now that I've established which project and assets have sound fundamentals, at least in terms of revenue generation. I mean, revenue generation tells me that there is a demand for their product or service, that the platform is seeing adoption by the end users, and in fact growing adoption and usage of their platform, of their product. So now I'm gonna also say that I wanted these assets to be in an uptrend. Okay, so if I'm gonna be buying some of these, I want to be buying those that are already in an established uptrend, because trends have the tendency to continue. Buying assets in a downtrend is riskier, frankly. So now I search for the trend indicators. We have a number of trend indicators. We have our platform calculates trend on the short-term, medium, and the long-term basis. And we constantly update this. The system does that constantly. I tend to focus on the medium term and the long term trend, especially medium term. Medium term is a trend that has established itself, but it's still relatively fresh and there's still more upside. Whereas the long term trend is a trend that's been ongoing for a while now, months, and therefore might be a bit too mature, too long in the tooth, if you will. So let's say I want to see all those assets where the medium-term trend is up or strong up. So if I just say up and add the filter, now I'm down from 14 to only 4. Okay. So all these 4 assets here. And if I look at the trend tab here, I can see that in fact they're in up or strong uptrend across the board, short term, medium term, and the long term basis. So these are assets that are already in a solid uptrend, okay, and have solid revenues that are growing. The last thing that I'm going to add is valuation. Valuation means what is the market cap of this asset, this project, relative to its revenue, right? Because a project could have a ton of revenues, but if the valuation is massive, then we're already paying a lot for those revenues, right? So the relative ratio between the market cap and the revenue is also important. In traditional equities, for example, the largest company in the world, at least publicly traded company in the world, NVIDIA, the maker of the semiconductor chips that are used in the fastest computers these days and for AI and data centers in general. That company, which I think the market capitalization is around now 3 trillion, is mind-blowing, is trading at about 13 times annualized revenue. The market cap of NVIDIA relative to the revenue is about 13 times, 13x. So that's just to set the framework in terms of the valuation, right? If NVIDIA is trading at this valuation, then, I don't want to be buying anything that's more expensive than that, unless there's really a lot of growth. If there's a lot of growth in the revenues, investors are willing to pay higher valuation multiple. But in this case, let's just say, for the sake of the exercise here, to say that the market cap to total revenue is below 10. Okay, I'm going to add that. Okay, so now I'm down from 4 to 3. So let's see which one drops out. We have Tron, Aave, Syrup or Maple Finance, and Euler. Let's see which one drops out after this criteria had been added to my filter. Okay, Syrup or Maple dropped out. Okay, so now we have 3 assets that are fundamentally sound because they have substantial revenues, they have some revenue growth, they are in an uptrend from a technical analysis perspective, and they're also not overvalued in terms of the valuation multiples of market cap to total revenue. So this forms a good base for my investment decisions, I think, at this point. If you wanted to go into sort of additional details, you can look at the charts, a longer period of charts. You can look at where the resistance support areas are. In fact, for Tron, we also have a technical analysis, right? We're actually bullish on it. Let's blow this up. It's trading in the channel up pattern, okay? I frankly think that this asset has a lot of upside. I think that this price of this asset will revisit the highs, the all-time highs. Well, maybe those are not all-time highs, but certainly the 52-week highs of about 45 cents, where it spiked up in December. So I'm bullish on it from a technical analysis perspective. Let's look at Aave. We also have a technical analysis, also bullish. And the situation here is that it's broken above the 200-day moving average, which is also a signal of an uptrend. And it's broken above the resistance of $275. And therefore, we think that the price is likely to continue its uptrend now after some period of consolidation here. It's likely to continue its uptrend and to reach the next resistance level of $350. You can also read that in the description of the trade setup here as well. So in some cases, you may actually find a technical analysis that's already been created for you. In other cases, you'll have to do it yourself based on the indicators and the charts and so on. But this really shows you how you can create powerful screens using altFINS that marry both the fundamentals and the technical analysis. Now, from here, I can do one more thing or a few more things. First of all, I can create a watch list out of this, okay? Create a new watch list. But I can also save this filter. Once I save this filter, okay, give it a name, fundamentals and TA. Okay, once I save it, it's under my saved filters right here. So I can come back to it and apply the filter. All right, so that's an easy way to come back to those results. But I can create an alert on this as well, so that I get alerted when new assets fit this criteria in the future. So I'll create an alert, same name, fundamentals, and I'll say uptrend. Maybe I'll say strong fundamentals. Okay, I don't have enough space here. Fundamentals and uptrend. Okay, I'll put it in notes. Strong. I'll say large revenue, growing, valuation below 10x in uptrend. All right. So once I create this alert, I can see that alert under my alerts management tab here. Okay, it's right here. Okay, here I can always disable it or delete it in the future, or even rename it if you want to, right? Here's my note that I added to this right here. Large revenue, growing, valuation below 10x, and an uptrend. And I'm going to start receiving these alert notifications on this platform, as well as on the mobile app. If you download the mobile app that we have, you will receive alert notifications there as well. But you'll also You can also receive emails if you change the alert notifications options right here. You can check to receive emails as well. All right. And then one other thing that's pretty cool, I think, is that actually if you go to Signal Summary, you will see your new filter, custom filter created under your user filter summary right here. So this is also a shortcut to the results. So if I click on that link, it'll take me basically to the results of that custom filter that I made with the results as well. All right, everyone, I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, feel free to, first of all, join our Telegram channels that we have, but also email us at invest@altfins.com. Thank you and good luck trading.